Connect to your Seattle at Pier 62 with free events and programs all summer long. Family-friendly activities like music, art, dance, yoga, storytelling, fitness classes, and much more. All free for you to enjoy. Visit waterfrontparkseattle.org for the full summer schedule. That's waterfrontparkseattle.org. Connect to your Seattle at Pier 62.
Yo, what's good? It's D-Money, and you should definitely check out Fresh Juice every Wednesday, 9 to 11 Pacific, right on Rainier Avenue Radio.
With pint-sized Patron, P-Treasy the Don. Y'all be sure to clean your mirrors as we play brand new hip-hop and R&B from locals and worldwide.
It's ID Yourself, a.k.a. Malcolm Flex. Make sure you check out Fresh Juice every Wednesday, Pacific Standard Time from 9 to 11 p.m.
And to get those exclusive interviews that we be doing.
Sipping a brand new Fresh Juice every single week.
Yeah. Every Wednesday, 9 to 11, Rainier Avenue Radio.
Yeah, yeah.
Wash your hands, don't touch your face, wipe things down, clean up your space. When you cough and sneeze, do responsibly. If you feel you're getting ill, isolate at home and chill. No, you're not alone. Please pick up your phone and call 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health Community Radio Station will provide you with more information. Say Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world is your 24/7 digital media hub. Tune in at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and TuneIn apps.
Oh man, I can't get used to that. The Shattering Glass Ceiling. Hello world, Bettina Carey here, and we're on Rainier Avenue Radio. We're helping you to shatter your glass ceilings with an S because, well, glass ceilings are meant to be shattered, not just merely broken. And if you've been looking for a way to shatter yours, you've come to the right place. This week's guest is none other than returning guest, Master Nigel Henry. We've had him on here now. This will be our third time because he's amazing, and you're going to want to listen up. As you may have already heard from prior shows, Nigel's life purpose is activating and unleashing the greatness in people. Master Nigel is typically working directly one-on-one behind the scenes with me, the chief, or the ambitious, highly gifted, extraordinary, out-of-the-box individual who has desires or intentions on being known as the number one or the greatest or the disruptor in my industry or profession, while I'm making massive beneficial changes in the world. His specific service for which he's highly compensated is engaging his client in a proprietary form of thinking methodology called activation conversations. This typically results in me experiencing sudden massive explosions in my mastery performance and in my capacity for sourcing and contributing insane amounts of value at ludicrous speeds. Master Nigel's activation conversations covers the full gamut of my world, including my life's calling, global impact, business performance, health relationships, and personal lifestyle. Join us as we dive deep into activating some very deep levels of awareness and also awakening some of your very own superpowers and abilities. Welcome back, Master Nigel. It's great to have you.
Great to be here again.
Yeah.
Angel Bettina. Yes.
Oh, we got you here. We got you here. Your reference to Angel Bettina has got to be explained, right? So when our mutual friend A.M. Noel introduced us a couple of months ago, one of the first questions you asked me was whether or not I was an angel on earth, to which I replied, yes, of course, because I am. And the reason I know this is because I had a feeling, a knowing that I was here for something greater than just punching a clock and doing a job. And so I've known this since I was a teenager. And so I wasn't surprised by the question or the answer, but I had never actually voiced that to anyone else. So we're going to dive deeper into what the reference is about being an angel on earth. My intention for today's show is that everyone listening or watching sign up to Nigel's upcoming Financial Miracle Challenge. And that's one of the reasons that we've had him here now for the third time. Let's begin with the end in mind, Nigel. What does it look like to get the most out of your Financial Miracle Challenge coming up?
Well, the end is that someone graduated from the 5-day Financial Miracle Challenge and they achieved their financial miracle. And so in the financial miracle, everyone sets a financial goal, say 10,000, 50,000, whatever that number is that represents a challenge for them. And they achieve it. Yay! And basically, they've never done this kind of thing before in their life. And therefore, they've worked a miracle. So that's the end. Now, if we reverse engineer that and say, well, how did that happen? Clearly, they engaged fully in the financial miracle practices, and we'll be diving deeper into some of those. And clearly, they must have prepared to engage. And before that, they registered. So people can actually register in the Financial Miracle Challenge by going to www.greatnessactivation.com/FMC. And there is an actual, once they click on that link, they have to apply to get in. So not everyone gets in because we're looking for people who have a strong calling to make a big difference on the planet and a great commitment to make a difference. And that's why we filter out, so we're not letting everyone in. And plus, to the degree that they identify as a change angel, the likelihood of getting in and being successful, meaning manifesting a financial miracle, is much stronger. Plus, they'll be inspiring the others in the group. So that's the end. They registered, applied, got in, and did the practices and produced the result.
That's great. And so with that in mind, I want to share with you my experience. So when I talked with you for the very first time, I thought we were going to talk for a short while. I happened to be ending a park walk with a friend, and it turned out to be an hour and 20-minute conversation, of which I thought I had gotten so much value. I wanted to write you a check right then and there. And then you followed up, asked me, invited me to participate in this Financial Miracle Challenge. And I had a very, very busy week scheduled. So that one of the first things I had to do was to decide yes or no. Was I going to sign up? Was I going to apply to this Financial Miracle Challenge? And while we were talking and you were busily explaining to me what was going on, I was already entering in the information to go ahead and hit the button to submit my payment and also to sign up to the course. And what I didn't really realize, though, that decision, that yes, it's the yes that really decides everything and anything in life, right? And then subsequently, when you asked the first day for us to set an intention around our miracle that we wanted to achieve, my first reaction was, well, I don't want to look bad here. I don't want to fail. So let me pick a number that I know that I have achieved and can achieve. The more you talked about it, though, I realized that this was my chance at creating a miracle in my week. And a miracle required that I take the chance that I could fail. Right away, I had to, figure out whether I was going to tell you a low ball number or a high ball number. And so I decided to go ahead and tell you a number. In this case, it was 20,000 in 5 days. And to put that out there, that would have been a historical week for me, right? This isn't something I'd done in the history of my company. And so it would have been something that's somewhat lofty, I would add, in my mind. And then I faced the reality that I had said this out loud and I had declared it. And now people were expecting me to actually achieve it. And I had to look at myself really from the inside out. And I realized, oh my gosh, I have some mental, emotional, physical blocks. And this is what you talk about. So tell us a little bit about what happened on day one that took me over the top to a place where I could set a goal and achieve that goal. What do you think happened?
Right. Beautiful question. Beautiful analogy. I'll start off by sharing some distinctions that just handle it without people understanding necessarily. So one of the distinctions that was in effect was this one. Identity activates superpowers. Identity activates superpowers. So one of the first things I did is said, are you an angel? And you said, yes. And that confession activates your identity. And the identity of an angel is that all things are possible. That's number one. Number two is the angel is heart-centered, heart-driven, heart-powered. I mean, your heart is the boss. The mind is just worried about safety and looking good.
Yeah.
So you surrendered to your heart, and it said, oh, this is the real number. This is a miracle. And the moment an angel or anyone surrenders their mind to their heart versus having an answer in their heart and listening to their mind saying why they shouldn't do it, you've never done it before, this is going to fail. If I listen to that voice, then nothing happens, because the mind's job is to keep me in my comfort zone. Comfort zone means don't fail, don't crash, nothing.
And make sure you look good.
And look good. So don't say anything that's going to embarrass the family. Of course, say something that you know you can do.
Yeah.
Now, this violates one of the laws of prosperity or money, that the money is outside the comfort zone. The money requires courage, acts of courage.
Yes.
Risk, reward, all the things that we know, it's outside of where I'm comfortable. And the heart knows that truth, and it said it out loud, and my mind was allowed to surrender. So that's the first thing that happened to Angel Bettina, is her heart said, yes, let's do this, and here's the number. And the mind was like, but, and she said, anyway, we're doing this anyway. She surrendered to her higher calling, the boss voice. So that's the first principle that happened. And then the mind ran out of what we call it, we're outside the comfort zone. We've never done this before. How's this going to work? And it started asking questions, right? Which brings us into one of the other principles, which is to do with questions, mindsets, and cash flow. Questions, mindsets, and cash flow. These three things are directly connected to each other. Without having a full display, I'll just summarize it, but there are four mindsets. The highest one is called the flourishing mindset. The next one down is called the striving mindset. And the third one down is survival mindset. And the bottom one is called dying mindset. The third one is called surviving mindset. The surviving mindset is the default mindset of 80 to 90% of the population. That is the one that's about safety. Don't take any risks, because we might die. So say something that's safe. Go for a safe number. So that's what the mind is programmed to do. But the striving mindset says, well, if we work hard and put in some effort, we can make something happen. But the flourishing mindset says birthright is our wealth. And that's how I was born. I was born in the kingdom. Therefore, all this working harder and safety, there's something off. And that's what the heart knows. I'm born with a prosperous mindset. So the reason I'm sharing all that is the access to the higher mindset is a question. And the standard question of the survival mindset is how? How are we going to do this, Nigel? I don't know how. And it's how? And because the mind is asking how, we're stuck in this comfort zone called survival. So one of the fundamental principles of the FMC is we change the question to who, and the who gets us into the flourishing mindset, and new possibilities just open up out of thin air. It's like the analogy I have is that your view or your awareness of what's possible changes as you go up the elevation. If you're in a tall building and you're on the top floor, you can see the horizon. You can see all the possibilities in your city. But if you're on the ground floor, all you see is the fence next door.
Yes,
So,
and interestingly enough, what happened was when I put that higher, loftier goal up there, then the safe person fell away.
yes.
And then game on. I am going to do this. What do I need to do to get into this game of thriving and flourishing? And what ended up happening was I bumped into a physical and a mental mindset. And the physical was that I didn't have one of the contracts that I normally would have had in place, ready to go. And the mental was that I bumped into this not flourishing mindset. It was a mindset of laissez-faire. Oh, I'll get to that next week. Is fine enough. I'll do it last minute because I'm a last minute kind of gal. And if in order to achieve this, I also cleared my calendar. I ended up deciding that the who list that we talk about is much more important and vital than why or when or how or what. And I ended up going from a person who thought, how am I going to do this? I don't have the time to do this class. I don't have it's going to be overwhelming to reach now 20,000. I just blurted out 20,000. And it ended up being that I just had to do 5 things. And those 5 things got me beyond my goal. So share a little bit more about the various areas that you cover relative to this program. Of course, mental, emotional, physical, and I'm forgetting one more, environment.
Yes. So fundamentally what we're doing in the Financial Miracle Challenge is we're putting the person in their higher state. On a mental level, we're placing them in the flourishing mindset. However, there's habits and gravity that wants to keep them in their survival mindset. Yeah. And in the survival mindset, one of the principles that affect money is my voice is my moneymaker. And when I use language, it can limit the flow of my money. In the flourishing mindset, the language is cleaner and we choose different words. So one of the first things we do is when we're in the flourishing mode, we speak only the intention that we have. In survival mode, we're speaking all the possible things that could go wrong, which we call virus words. So we condition the participant to speak virus-free. So there's a cleaning up of the language. Second thing is the emotions behave differently when I'm operating at the high level. When I'm in survival mode, my emotions are really warning, danger, could happen, I feel scared, I don't know, nervous energy. And at the high performance end of the pyramid, the emotions turn into a dashboard. And they become like, okay, we're doing 100 miles an hour, you need to turn left here. The emotions actually become information source. So we use the gift of anger, the gift of overwhelm, the gift of frustration. Notice how I'm saying the gift of these emotions are now serving and supporting the intention because we're operating at a higher level. On a physical level, the environment can actually limit me. So what we recommend is to start to clearing the environment from distractions. The mind is always going to be paying attention to what's around it, but if it's removed, the distractions are removed, it will focus on the one intention that it has. And for some reason, there's an energy that flows in the environment that is always intending to support the manifestation of high income. However, if there's physical things in the environment, it will disturb the flow and cause turbulence, and I'll have turbulence in my life. So So emotionally, it's necessary to go faster for the emotions to serve me. If I go slower, the emotions will work against me, right? So anger actually is a power source. We have another emotion we call turbo, where it's actually fear converted into accelerating fuel. So the number one thing is that's why it's 5 days. We condense what would normally take a year down into 5 days to cause everything in the temple, mind, body, and emotion to operate at an elevated mode and support a specific intention, which is to manifest some money. Now, one last thing regarding that, money is a reflection of value going out, and it's out of the mouth. So the main thing is there's a law that governs money. Value goes out, money comes in. My speak value, money must come in. And the issue is, am I clogged up? We call it value constipation. Is the value in me but won't get out because of my mental blocks, my emotional blocks, or my physical blocks? So that's why we crank it up and say, you must produce value now, and we'll feel where it's blocked, and we can get in there, remove the block, and it will just flow out, and money must come in by the law of exchange.
And what's interesting, we had this great conversation yesterday with a number of the We Empower You members and non-members that attend our weekly meetings on Wednesdays. And I got something that I didn't get, which is that $20,000 times 52 weeks, if I replicate that, when I replicate that every week, it's over $1 million, right?
Yes.
So yesterday, somebody had proposed or intended to make $1 million. And one of the things you said was, to make $1 million, give $1 million in value, and $1 million in money will come back in. And it was like, oh my gosh, that week that I gave $20,000 in value, 20,000 came in. And it's like, it's like an explosion in my head now. I'm like, oh my God. Everybody can be a millionaire if they understand this value distinction. So this is a really great example of the power of these. I say the words you use help you to win or lose, and you have distinguished words in particular that are not in service to us as virus words. And virus words include a really big word, or at the core of it is this word not. Share a little bit more about the virus words that we use that help us to lose, so to speak.
All limiting words have one root word, and it's the three-letter word N-O-T. N-O-T. That is the root of all limitations on earth, period. Not only is it limiting, it separates.
Yeah.
So when someone says, I am not that, the only thing that separates me from that is the word not. And the word not is so powerful that it actually causes blindness. Like when I say not, it's literally like I'm putting a little mask over my eyes. And then the second thing it causes is amnesia. So the word not, whenever it comes into my mind, it sort of just causes blindness and forgetfulness. And that's the definition of unconsciousness. And when people are unconscious, they are unable to see opportunities or deliver value. And that's what most people are. And when we're in survival, basically it's blindness. And worst of all, people use that word more and more that they're in survival. As soon as I come out of it, that word actually disappears from my vocabulary, and the flow of value just happens naturally. Yes. And regarding the $1 million, it turns out that I am always producing more value than there is money on earth. And there's a conversion that happens depending on my self-worth, right? If I devalue the value.
They're always printing money somewhere, right? So there's always an unlimited source of money. Giving out value is what the exchange is. So there's a saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And recently I attended a conference where someone added, put salt on the tongue to create thirst. What are considerations when sharing such a wonderful program with others that might put the salt on the tongue for those of you who are interested in joining us to sign up?
Yes. Well, the first thing is the salt is what is the money going to be used for? Some people are like, well, no, it's not really practical. Wait a minute. Let's assume that you were able to attend and you made a financial miracle. What difference would that make in your personal life? Then what difference would it make to the person that you love, your significant others or family? And then what difference would it make to the people that you serve? The fact that you gave them so much value that they wanted to give you money. And then extended, especially those change angels, what difference would it make on the planet when I go for a big number, which means I'm putting out superior value and I'm getting rewarded for that?
Yes.
And then think of the next generation. How would this inspire them to play big? And then how would I feel if I had the formula for working miracles and I could not only replicate it at will, I could teach it to others.
Yes,
so I think that's, go ahead.
I've been asking those bigger questions literally all of my life. And some just wake up to it when they're in their 20s or 30s or 40s, 50s, 60s, and so on. And I've been asking the additional question of late, because I'm now in my 60s, what will it take to fulfill my purpose, right? And if you've been asking that question, listeners, and those watching, and you want to tap into Master Nigel's Financial Miracle Challenge, how are folks going to tap into that right now? Just give the instructions, Nigel.
The simplest thing to do is to go to greatnessactivation.com/FMC. And once you go there, it will just give you, say, if you're interested, click here, you put your name and address, and then you'll see the video explaining the whole thing that we just explained. But I have to say, we are taking applications. So the next one that's coming up, we're taking applications only, and then we interview each person. And if they qualify, we let them in. If they're not qualified, we help them to get qualified. But we're only taking people who are committed to working miracles so that we have a very miracle-centric gathering in the group. Yes, so go to greatnessactivation.com/FMC if you're listening, or you can just click on the link. And this is what you'll see. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Master Nigel. It's been a pleasure to have you back for a third time. I'm sure we're going to have you back again. The Financial Miracle Challenge is happening soon. Sign up at greatnessactivation.com/FMC. I'm Bettina Carey, your host on Rainier Avenue Radio, and I am hosting the Shatter Your Glass Ceiling. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to learn and grow, and I can't wait to have you back on Thursdays at 1:30. Next up is God is Inspiration. Thank you for watching, listening, and sharing. Signing off, Bettina Carey. Take care, Nigel.
Peace and blessings.
Ask most anyone if they feel empowered in all areas of their life. If they're honest, they'll likely say no. Hi, I'm Bettina Carey, and I may be only 4'9½", but what I do is big. Dream big, break through, and connect to powerful people like you. And what I'm doing is inspiring and empowering others to break through, shatter their revenue glass ceiling. And I'm here to tell you that the We Empower You community is where you're going to want to be. It's a community. It's a membership. It's a movement. And what we're doing is helping you to start and run your online business without doing a thing. We're helping you to find angel investors that you don't have to pay back, to run your own membership program where you don't have to do the work, and so much more. We are here to empower you at the We Empower You Global Summit and the WeEmpowerYourLife.com. Visit us on the web at WeEmpowerYourLife.com or text the word Bettina to 555-888. We'll see you at the summit.